Welcome to Mock the Week. I'm Jar O'Brien. The news this week: Madonna returned from a trip to Malawi with a 13-month-old boy she's hoping to adopt. Some celebrities might regard the adoption of an African child as nothing more than a fashion accessory. Madonna gave the game away when she referred to him as the new black. Madonna strenuously denied the adoption was a publicity stunt, while gyrating naked on an illuminated cross outside the orphanage. The Malawi authorities have insisted that if any foreign pop star wishes to adopt a local child, they will need to stay in the country for 18 months. Michael Jackson said that's fine, as long as he can sleep in the orphanage. Ooh, you're very disapproving tonight, aren't you? Ooh. Army Chief Sir Richard Dannett criticised the government strategy on Iraq, where British troops are being shot at on a daily basis, although it'll obviously get much safer when the Americans leave and it's only the Iraqis firing at them. And scientists have predicted that 100,000 years in the future, the human race will have split into two distinct types. One of them 7 foot tall with long, thin limbs, and the other a stunted, goblin-like creature. But the large question is, can they play up front for England? Joining me tonight are 6 of the top comedy performers in this country: Andy Parsons, Mark Steele, Russell Howard, and Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis, and Adam Hills. Welcome to you all. All right, our first event tonight is called Headliners. I show the teams a recent photo along with the initial letters of a newspaper headline. This is a picture of Tony Blair visiting the troops in Iraq. There he is. So what does BARB stand for?
Is it Blair actually resigns? Brilliant.
Is it Blair aces rap battle? I'm Tony B, you don't know me. Oh.
Is it Blair's arse ready bush?
I'm very impressed by the way that they seemingly ran out of camouflage gear when Tony Blair arrived.
It's not very good camouflage, is it? I can see all of them.
OK, I'll give you a clue. The B stands for British.
A stands for Army, am I right?
Yes, it does.
Is it British Army Rifle Bollocks?
No, it's not. British Army Rifle. There was never a headline in any paper that said British Army Rifle Bollocks. Show me the paper that
the
says...
The Kingston Tabloid Press is shocking, aren't you?
Madonna adoption horseshit. You're not going to get it.
British Army
I'd like to have a crack at it now.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us the fourth one? I reckon I can put it together.
The fourth word is breakdown.
Is it British Army Risks Breakdown?
That's exactly right. The answer I was looking for is British Army Risk Breakdown, and refers to General Sir Richard Dannett's stark warning that with no end in sight for conflicts in Afghanistan and Iraq, the armed forces are dangerously stretched.
They've got a recruiting drive on in Scotland at the minute, the Army, because that's what you need if you're fighting an unwinnable war in the desert. More ginger people.
The thing that I thought was astonishing, first of all, that the chief of the army would come out against the war that the government sent him into. But then, having said that Blair's tactic, he just went on the television and said, no, this chap hasn't said anything that I disagree with, he agrees with me at all, even though he said we shouldn't be there and we're making it worse. And he's become a compulsive liar, Blair, isn't he? Just one of these people who lies when you know it's bollocks. His next press conference, he'll just say, thank you all for coming, I've got a leopard at home. My dad invented cheese. I've got a fridge made of gold, I can jump over my house. My mum's the Queen. He's just gone mad.
But they want to use the army for everything now, though, don't they? The government do, because didn't Blunkett say this week they wanted to use the army in Lincoln Prison or something?
Yes, Blunkett apparently rang up the guy in charge of Lincoln Prison during the riots and said that he should send in the army to machine gun the prison.
It's lucky he hasn't got one himself, because that is actually a special skill for a guide dog, isn't it? He essentially would become like a machine gun caddy. So David Blunkett would just say, range, and the dog would go, 40 yards.
Yoda is his guide dog.
I don't actually know.
Resign from the cabinet, you must.
All I'm saying is you don't want David Blunkett with a machine gun.
No, David, no, to be fair, he never said, "Hey, I'll go down there and machine gun the prisoners." He said, "Send the army in, and they'll." Because these guys are
I
trained.
personally would like to see David Blunkett join Fathers for Justice. I would pay good money to see him on a ledge outside Buckingham Palace.
The best story about prisons this week is apparently to rehabilitate violent prisoners, they're making them play Scrabble. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they get paid £1.10 if they complete a game of Scrabble for 30 minutes, which is just excellent. It's just the idea of some bloke, I killed many times, but I'm better now, thanks to Buckaroo.
Don't they tend to play Buckaroo with their cellmates anyway? Oh, he's throwing the saddle again.
The irony, Frank, is there is a prison in the States during the week that has like 70% less people coming back to prison than it used to because all the cellmates have to wear pink.
That's because they've escaped.
No. All the cellmates and all the cells were painted pink, and the entire jail was painted pink.
That may be why they escaped us. They're all dressed in pink, and the entire jail is dressed in pink. They just have to move along, and then all right. If the Scrabble thing does continue, you won't be quite as scared when they say there has been a riot in the prison. The prisons are on the reef throwing tiles because they'd be like, "Take an eye, take a J, ting, another bloody eye, ting," because that's the noise the Scrabble tile makes as you throw it. Okay. Why was a former army poster boy in the news this week?
Oh, this is great. He is addicted to going to gardens and looking at ladies as they get undressed at night, and you find yourself going, get a webcam. It's a lot easier, you'll catch cold.
Yeah, but it's the difference between like listening to a CD and listening to a band live. You know, live is just much more exciting.
They said that he was one of the best exemplary army cadets or whatever that they ever had. How good were you in the army if you can't go into a student's garden and peep without getting caught?
But he used to be in the recruitment advert as well, didn't he?
He was in a series of television campaigns.
It'd be really great if there was a hidden one that no one saw. It's like, right, left, kill the lights. That's the stuff. Be the best, take off your vest.
One of those, like, can you see the girl? Can you see the girl at night? Can you see the girl at night? From a tree? If you want to know to any of these questions.
My favourite army thing, I'll just tell you. I went to the Chinese New Year in Leicester Square, and it said the red arrows are coming along, right? So we hung around, and it's just the blokes, not the plates. And then they're not even wearing their outfits. I'm pissed off.
Were they walking in formation?
No smoke coming out of their arses, nothing.
One army that was in the news, of course, this
Oh,
week
yeah?
was the Barmy Army, which is a bit of a leap, I know. But the Australian fans were warned this week about their behaviour towards them.
It was the Premier of New South Wales, a guy called Maurice Iemma, who asked Tony Blair to identify hooligans, because cricket hooligans are all the rage, apparently.
Oh, they're dangerous.
Yeah, they're the worst kind.
Yeah. You're going to spend £2,500 and then travel 25 hours to the other side of the world to really kick off.
They're all posh, aren't they?
Exactly.
You know, it's none of this, who are ya? Who are ya? It's more, you are whom?
Well, you can imagine them with the Aussies just, that's not a knife, it is. It's a cheese knife. It'll make light work of this breed.
I love the English fans and the Barmy Army. I watched the Rugby World Cup final in Newcastle upon Tyne, in a place called Bar Oz, and I thought I was going to be safe, and there were like 5 Aussies in the corner, and there were 500 English. And borderline racist, almost violent chanting, but very funny. 5 Aussies, 500 English, just, we get $3 to the pound, we get... When you're heckling the exchange rate, that is inventive.
We were very excited, though, weren't we, by the old Rugby World Cup? You know, because obviously the England rugby team, we've won very little since, but we were thinking, weren't we? We were thinking of making rugby our national sport ahead of soccer until we realised that only 8 countries in the world give a monkeys about rugby, and 4 of them are us.
At which point, let's go on into that round. The winners there were, let's give it to Frankie, Hugh and Adam. The next round is called Between the Lines and features Hugh and Frankie. If you could make your way to the press pit, please. Thank you. In this round, one of them takes on the role of a person in the news addressing the media, while the other translates what they really mean. Frankie, you are Conservative Party leader David Cameron making a speech. Hugh, you'll tell us what he really means.
I am here to launch the Conservative Party manifesto, which is substantial.
A child's drawing of an oak tree and 300 blank pages.
First, let me refute a rumour. People say that I am posh.
I am not. And you can ask my footman.
I believe that politics should be about more than style over substance. Admittedly, I did go to boarding school.
I was briefly gay.
But Eton is a school with great tradition.
The weakest child in every year is sacrificed in the school pyramid to appease the god Imhotep.
The world needs to form a coherent plan to deal with global warming.
I've got a little windmill on my roof.
I want to reach out to ethnic minorities in Britain.
Give them a fiver and say, would you do my garden?
Well done, Hugh and Frankie! Now we play a round called Dara's News Laughter Fun Dial. This game involves Adam, Andy, Frankie and Russell. So if you could make your way over yonder to the performance area, thank you very much. Today's stand-up challenge, our random news generator, contains a bank of topics, and we spin the wheel, and when it stops, anyone can step forward and tell us a few jokes on that topic. OK, here we go. Let's spin the wheel. OK, the topic is air travel. Who wants to come in on that?
I'll do that. Russell. My favourite story about air travel, there was a bloke a little while ago who got put in prison for 3 days because he refused to stop kissing his boyfriend on a plane flight to South Africa. How magic's that? You can't help but picture him dressed entirely in latex, you know, surrounded by a sea of Burberry on an EasyJet flight. All right, lads, I'm going to make this tense for you. Ramon, let's do the bad thing. Do you want to stop doing that? I'm trying to read Nuts magazine. Whatever. Stop doing that. It's not natural. You're flying.
Russell Howard, well done. OK, let's spin the wheel again. The subject is George W. Bush. Who wants to come in?
Oh, yes, please.
Adam.
I think the biggest mistake George W. Bush made in his presidency was the way he dealt with the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. Because seriously, that should have been easy. All he had to do was go to New Orleans, look like he was helping out, people would have loved him. And he still screwed that up. And whether or not you like Bill Clinton, I reckon Clinton would have known what to do in that time of crisis, because Clinton could spin public image. He could make himself look good when it counted. 3 days after the hurricane hit, George W. was still watching television. Storm, should I do something about this? Clinton had been in charge. He'd have been standing on the New Orleans docks the day the hurricane hit with a camera crew behind him, his pants around his ankles going, "Hey, Katrina, blow this."
Well done, Adam. OK. Andy and Frankie, it's up to you. The next topic, please. The next topic is religion. Andy, step to the mic.
Muslims do take their religion very seriously, I think at least in part because they have to pray 5 times a day. Anything you've got to do 5 times a day, you tend to take pretty seriously. We are all supposed to eat 5 fruit and veg every day. Now, we struggle to do that, don't we? Now imagine you had to eat those 5 fruit and veg at set times every day when some bloke up a tower started wailing fruit and veg at you. At which point you had to start reciting various passages from Delia Smith's Healthy Cookbook whilst pointing in the direction of Norwich.
Very good, Andy Parsons. So let's see what's left there for Frankie. What's the next topic? And the topic is sport.
Apparently, Scotland games now at Hampden, they've actually banned food from the ground, and they search you when you're going in to make sure that you've not got food on you. Nice to see that we've got our priorities right, isn't it? What's this, sir, a knife? I hope you weren't planning on making sandwiches. Now, a Scottish guy is the #1 British tennis player. I've not checked my Nostradamus, but isn't that one of the harbingers of the apocalypse? The only time I'd previously seen a Scottish guy playing tennis, it was someone playing charades, attempting to mime the word homosexual.
Frankie Boy. Impossible to divide it. Points for everyone. Well done. Points for that show. All get points. Come back. Give them all a round of applause. Our next round is called, This is the Answer, What is the Question? Here's our big board with the 6 categories. From the categories chosen, I read out an answer in the place of to guess what the question might be. Adam, which category would you like?
Transport, please.
OK, transport it is. The answer is crazy, loopy and un-British. What is the question?
What is Mohammed Al Fayed?
Is it what is Prince Philip?
Is it who are the arch enemies of Snap, Crackle and Pop?
What nicknames has Madonna given her children?
Is it, if you read the Daily Mail, what is everything?
What do you call slapping a bulldog?
I actually know the answer to this one. I think it's what people were saying about the lady who was wearing the crucifix for British Airways, Peter Hain, people like that.
That's absolutely right. Well done, Andy Parsons.
Thank you very much.
Yes, the question I was looking for was, how did public figures describe British Airways' decision to send home an employee for refusing to cover up a crucifix necklace? Check-in worker Nadia Ouida argued she was being unfairly treated and said that Muslim and Sikh employees were still allowed to wear headscarves and turbans. Now, obviously, the distinction is that she could have put the crucifix under other clothes, where it's very difficult to hide a head like a turban, unless they gave them all like afro wigs.
The problem was, though, wasn't it? Was that it was only the size of a 5-pence piece. She should have had a much larger cross and worn it on her head, and then she'd have been absolutely fine, wouldn't she?
She should have been nailed to a cross while she was doing the safety demonstration. The exits are here. There's got to be more to it, hasn't there? They can't just have been annoyed about her wearing a cross.
No, it does seem given that the cross is very commonly worn.
Probably she was hassling Jewish passengers. Did you pack your own bags, madam? And why did you kill Jesus?
Adam, you've probably travelled more internationally in the last while than any of us. How is security at the moment? Do you have any difficulties?
I've got an artificial foot, as you know.
Yes, I do know that.
So clearly every time... I don't know if you knew that, Hugh.
I have an artificial penis. So I've decided not to, compare notes on that later.
And it does have metal bits on the side. So going through airport metal detectors is just brilliant.
Right.
I went through Heathrow Airport 3 days after September 11, and reaction of the foot was great. Because I walked through, and of course everything's gone off, and they're right over here, put your arms out, and they patted me down. And they got to that moment where they kind of knocked on the foot, and there was a wooden sound. And the guy just kind of looked at me and just went, right, what's going on down there? In all innocence, I just went, oh, it's an artificial foot. And he just went, oh, geez, go through, mate. No, just go through. No, it's all right. And I was kind of thinking, well, check, there could be a knife. No, just go, mate. I don't care if the plane goes down. I don't want to offend a spastic. Just go, for God's sake.
So when you're going to one of the ones in which you have to take off, when there's a bit of a rigmarole anyway, and people are sullen, they spend the entire day looking at people sullenly going past, going, well, here's my belt, and here's my shoe, and then you could just go, and I'll see your belt, and I'll see your shoe, and here's the leg.
Did you just take your shoe off? Or did you just take the whole thing off?
No, the shoe comes off first, and then I put it on. I usually use it to...
You made that sound actually kind of sexy. The shoe comes off. Yeah.
And then, if needs be, the Velcro.
Yeah. Velcro?
Yeah, it's held on by Velcro.
Is that Velcro straight onto the hair of your leg, or is it... It's a Velcro.
That would be ridiculous. It's
Those
really
cutbacks
painful.
in the health service are really kicking in, aren't they?
What was you expecting, a dovetail joint?
Yeah, ideally, or some sort of modern prosthetic. Masking tape, maybe.
How did you get toes that did all the different functions of a Swiss Army knife?
I do have toes on it.
Huh?
I do, yeah.
I think the question everyone wants is, get your foot out, Adam.
Listen for the Velcro.
It's Velcro time. Ready to come to the mic?
It's Velcro.
I've got a terrific view, ladies and gentlemen.
Are you not ever tempted... Have you ever thought of just going, "Arr," when you take it?
What I want to know is, have you ever got pins and needles in your artificial foot?
Right, the foot.
Oh, hello.
Not that one!
He's removed the wrong foot. NHS, wasn't it? Right there.
That was actually Hugh's
Wasn't
penis.
his foot, was it?
It's like show and tell, isn't it?
Who's got something else now? Come on. I'm impressed by the fake toe, because presumably there's no good, there's no tactile reason for the there, there's no essential...
Do you know what it was? It was because when I was about 14, getting to that age in a boy's life where, you're having things going on, and doctors basically sat down with me and said, is there anything the other kids can do that you can't? And bearing that I grew up in Australia, I said, yeah, I want to wear thongs. Which
Thongs, by the way, meaning flip-flops.
Adam, have you ever put beer in your foot and drunk out of it?
Yes. What they did, the reason there are toes there is because when I said I want to wear flip-flops, they made me one that had a gap there so that I could put flip-flops in there. But it didn't work because whenever you walk in flip-flops, as you walk, you grip with your toes. to hold the flip-flop on.
So you use them
Yeah.
and fire them off in every direction?
So my mum then put Velcro on a flip-flop.
If it wasn't for Velcro. We don't take enough time to thank Velcro for its wonderful work.
Just turn to the camera. Thanks, Velcro.
Thank you, Velcro.
Thanks for everything.
Keeping us together. Thank you. Thank you, Adam, for what could have descended into freak show territory, but you held it together with an enormous amount of dignity, as we basically said, show us the weird thing! Show us the weird thing now! Let us see the unusual limb that we remember.
Who wants to see my artificial penis?
Is that the one you had made so that you could wear a thong?
On travel news, of the greatest travel story of the week was Tina the tortoise. Tina the tortoise lost a leg, so they attached a rear wheel to the back of Tina's shell.
Did they attach it using Velcro?
When that tortoise goes to do a TV panel show, all the audience will be going, show us the wheel!
And then what happens if that tortoise is set upon and someone steals the wheels and you find it up on bricks?
What's his name? Is it Tina?
Tina.
Tina's
Her name is Tina.
There's no way that Tina's going to be able to hide from people she doesn't like anymore. You know, because before you can hide in your shell, well, that could be anyone. Tina, we know it's you. You've got a wheel. All right, Dave. How you doing? Not bad.
I think the other tortoise...
It's a very, very complex social network that tortoises are.
Every time the thing reverses, it's going to go beep.
To be honest, it's going to make fuck all difference to that tortoise. You said it doesn't know what's going on. It barely moves anyway. They're going to put it in a box at Christmas and it'll die.
Well, there you go.
You certainly can't see the back of it, can you?
Thank you, Frankie, for steamrolling our gentle whimsy there. For taking our sweet little commentary about Tina and how this has changed her life and just going, Tina will die like the rest of us.
Tortoises don't hibernate, they live to one. Basically, is what I've discovered.
Really?
Well, just going by Blue Peter.
But does this mean, though, if one of the parents accidentally, Tina dies, right? Do they have to go to a pet shop, buy a similar-looking tortoise, get rid of the leg, stick another wheel on the corner?
They're going to know whether that one's well or not because it's got to have an MOT every 3 years.
Yeah, excellent.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think the points that round go to Frankie, Hugh and Adam. Now we come to our final quick-fire round called Scenes We'd Like to See. This is for everyone, so if you could all make your way over to the performance area, please. Thank you very much. I call it ideas for scenarios we'd love to see in the performance. They'll step in with their suggestions. OK, here we go. So the first subject tonight is bad things to say when leading troops into battle.
Cry God for Harry, England and St George. Let us march to the music of Shawaddy Waddy.
Soon you'll be at home with your families, in a jar on the mantelpiece.
Have you been injured at work?
Right, lads, I might... pins and needles.
General Churchill will be leading the troops in on this one, isn't that right? Oh, yes.
Our best hope is that the enemy kills so many of us, they become slightly depressed.
Hello, I'm George Bush.
This next mission will be led by Michael Moore, seeing as he knows so fucking much.
OK, the next topic is unlikely things to hear on Blue Peter.
Today we'll show you how to make an ashtray using the shell of a dead tortoise.
And welcome back, John Leslie.
Have you ever wondered what it would be like to be a gimp?
When we say the Vandals have killed the goldfish, we mean they've shat in the pond.
And all we need to make this is a Bunsen burner, a spoon, some fresh cocaine and a pipe.
So in a moment, Connie will be teaching you how to clone your parents' credit cards.
With a couple of batteries and a toilet roll holder, you can make a fantastic Mother's Day vibrator.
Let's leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of that round, the points will go to Frankie, Hugh and Adam. Everyone come back. Everyone come back. That's the end of the show. That's the end of the series. This week's winners are Frankie Boyle, Hugh Dennis and Adam Hills. Commiserations to Andy Parsons, Mark Steele and Russell Howard. We'll hopefully see you again soon. I'm Darby. Thank you very much for watching. Good night.
Tomorrow night at 10, Stephen Fry wants answers in QI. And for more topical comedy, The Late Edition, starting now over on BBC 4. And later here on BBC 2, Donald Trump makes his choice, the final of The Apprentice USA from 11:20.